Hi there, and welcome to Faith in 5, where we believe you could build your faith in just 5 minutes. I'm your host, Reggie, and I'm back with another episode. And welcome to Friday's edition of Faith in 5. Today, I'm going to begin with a question. You're going to understand the meaning at the end of Faith in 5. The question is, do you want to stay in the room? I'll say it again. Do you want to stay in the room? Today's story, we're going to be in Mark chapter 5, starting in verse 35. That's Mark chapter 5, starting in verse 35. And this is in the NIV version of the Bible. Just to give you a little backdrop to the story, this is a story about a synagogue leader. His name is Jairus. Jairus is his synagogue leader, but the men come to him and tell him that his daughter is dead. Now we're going to pick up at the story, and we're going to go into details and see what Jesus did. So this is in Mark chapter 5, starting in verse 35. The Bible reads, while Jesus was still speaking, some people came from the house of Jairus, the synagogue leader. Your daughter is dead. They said, why bother to teach anymore? Overhearing what they said, Jesus told them, don't be afraid, just believe. He did not let anyone follow him except Peter, James, and John, the brothers of James. When they came to the home of the synagogue leader, Jesus saw a commotion with people crying and wailing out loud. He went in and said to them, why all this commotion and wailing? The child is not dead, but asleep. But they laughed at him. After he put them all out, he took the child's father and mother and the disciples who were with him and went in where the child was. He took her by the hand and said to her, little girl, I say to you, get up. Immediately the girl stood up and began to walk around. She was about 12 years old. At this, they were completely astonished. I'll stop there. Here it is, a synagogue leader. Obviously, these people checked her pulse or whatever happened at the house. She was dead. So people from Jairus' house came to tell him his daughter's dead. They tell him this. And then they said, why bother to teach her? She's already dead. Jesus turns to them and tells them, don't be afraid. Just believe. So upon reaching the house, Jesus is there and he says, why all the commotion? Because people are crying. A little girl died. So everybody's emotional and they're crying. Jesus says to them, why are you crying and wailing? She's just asleep. Everybody laughed. So as they laughed, Jesus put them out. As he puts them out, he goes and takes the mother and the father and his disciples so they could see what he would do. And he told the girl to get up and walk. A miracle was performed. She got up and she walked, and it was a miracle. Everybody that was in the room was astonished. Amazing story. The question is, why did Jesus put these people out the room? He got them out. He said, you guys leave. It's simple. They didn't believe. They couldn't stay in the room because they didn't have the faith to. And I can understand, how could that be realistic? They saw the girl, she was dead. It's not realistic. It just wasn't logical. Well, folks, miracles aren't logical. And in order to stay in the room and to stay in the vicinity of Jesus to do miracles in our lives, we got to believe the impossible. We got to have those childlike hearts. You see, I want to stay in the room so I could see the miracles happen of Jesus. I could imagine how James and Peter and how they felt. They were the ones that were in the room. Those parents, they were in the room. The people that were outside, the doubters, weren't able to see the miracles. So what am I asking you today? What's the question? Do you want to stay in the room? And if you want to stay in the room, it's a simple answer on how to do that. What did Jesus tell Jairus to do? Don't be afraid. Just believe. In the midst of a storm, he heard his daughter's dead. Jesus told him, just believe. Don't be afraid. So guys, as we ponder upon this weekend, as we reflect, we may have some challenge in our lives or things we feel like we can't get over. Let's remember this scripture, how when all else failed, when his daughter was absolutely, without a doubt, dead, he put his faith in Jesus and a miracle happened. So guys, thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's Faith in 5. And let's remember, stay in the room. And see you next time on Faith in 5.